from Sichuan province. I'm Yanling. I'm in this place, used to be called Shu Kingdom in ancient time. It's also known as heaven on earth in China. Imagine that. It's a place with abundance of everything: history, culture, nature, and spicy food. It's also known that the taste of the Shu Kingdom is in Sichuan province, but the flavor is concentrated in this capital, Chengdu.
Size of France. Sichuan province enjoys a vast land rich in natural resources and superior natural conditions. It has always been known as a place of abundance since ancient time. Its capital, Chengdu, is one of the oldest cities in the world, established as early as 4,000 years ago. Numerous scenic and historic sites in and around the city make Chengdu the best place to marvel the imperial province of Shu Kingdom and experience an ancient tree of distinguished Shu culture. Modern Chengdu is famous for its relaxed lifestyle. It's a perfect destination for travelers, especially city people, to enjoy what a modern city has to offer while taking a pleasant respite from hectic city temple elsewhere. Lighting a geographic and cultural crossroads, today's Chengdu serves as a major gateway to Tibet and other tourist attractions in and around Sichuan. Arrested by myriad things to see, worldly renowned Sichuan cuisine to try, no mentioning China's natural treasures charm. Most travelers find Sichuan, Chengdu, simply hard to resist. I always find the old town is where the heart of a city resides, tucked away yet pulsating in the city's original beat. And when will be the best time to feel its throb? In the morning. Intertwined alleys and courtyard houses in Sichuan style weave up the Kuanxiangzi area that wakes up early and slowly. It's the closest place for a traveler to go and step into the ebb and flow of the local life and expect some price-time encounter.
Oh, thanks to the kind granny I met in the street, I can keep on the journey. See, she's helping me fix my shoes. Keep walking. But that's actually just her favor. That's not her job. She's making those cute little toys. And I have to buy this, right? Really kind souvenir. Oh, 这是一个家. Oh, that's a family.
他生你的嘛，生你双胞胎。
Twins, okay? That's a twins. 好，那我要一个了。
The quietude can be stirred up occasionally by some inquisitive outsiders. And people here are so used to it, they take it as a part of their morning ritual. Answering questions repeatedly, telling stories behind the crossed doors, sometimes may even poof up slightly for some variations of tones and moods.
You never know what you'll find when you're lingering in an old town. Actually, I just stopped by at this place, Mr. Song's place, and he happened to be a tea house owner, an inventor of this lotion, and also apparently very famous poet in this street, at least. And he wrote a poem for a very famous Chinese writer, actually. And 你可以帮我读一读吗？
可以读。
Maybe he can read the poem in Chengdu dialect.
我给农民台送了他首诗叫《爱恋》，我向他献上采于路边的小花，那温暖的血流代替我思念的芬芳，站在 在小路上遥望天山上的彩霞，那灵魂中涌动的色彩胜过斑斓霞光。
I couldn't help laughing because it does sound very romantic, but lighthearted funny because he's saying in Chengdu dialect. I never heard people reading poem in Chengdu dialect. 那你呢？可以帮我写一首。Maybe he can write one for me too. 已经说2句了。
The only inspiration he needs is my name, so we made a deal.
30分钟以后我回来。
一定。
好的。I hope he's done by now. 写好了吗？
哎，写好了。
写好了。
哎，写好了，写好了。
I'm so excited. OK， 读给我来听听。
好。致年龄，一夜的凉风吹散夏日的烦恼，站在古老的小巷里，迎来远方聪明的白领娃，把人间的友爱种在心上，像一阵风，我不会忘记他的容貌。沧桑岁月让我回忆，远方的白领娃，请把明确的文化洒向五湖四海，或向东西南北八方。中头你了。
太好了，谢谢。So sweet. So sweet. First time actually anybody wrote a poem especially for me, and this is gonna be the wonderful, unreplaceable souvenir.
It didn't occur me to judge it as a doggerel or a lyric. Flattered to be called a singing lark, I was deeply impressed by his talent. The Sichuanese are renowned for their sense of humor and clever wordplay. And Sichuan province is famous for being literacy's hometown or favorite place for them to reside since ancient time. Even today, almost every poet would visit this place once they are in Chengdu. The great Poets' Hall inside Dufu's Headquarters Museum is full of statues of China's most renowned poets over the last 2 millenniums, standing side by side in their distinctive poses.
That's exactly how I imagined Li Bai should look like. Almost like Barkus, flamboyant, happy, crazy. And this one is actually a poet from Song Dynasty. Looks like almost like Morpheus. How I wish more of our fellow Chinese could be this spontaneous and loosen up a little bit.
Li Bai's belief drunken poems are even popular today. In sharp contrast, Dufu's serious, elusive, sometimes even anguished pieces are less accessible. But as a master and innovator of all the verse form of his time, Dufu is considered to be an undisputed genius in Chinese literary history.
Like many geniuses in history, Dufu never achieved fortune or fame or worldly career in his lifetime. Lived in the end of the Tang Dynasty, he witnessed the turbulence, rebellions, and decline of the Grand Tang Dynasty. So he actually only here in this thatched house, he spent a couple years of most serene time in his life.
Between 760 to 764, Dufu lived in rusticity here, in this so-called humble cottage, thatched cottage, that's now visited as a shrine of Chinese poetry.
Sometimes I couldn't help asking myself, what's the point of visiting a former residence of famous people, when the person is long gone and even the site is just rebuilt. But every time when a place like this, I still couldn't help wondering, I am sitting where he used to sit.
It was in this place he wrote one of his most famous poets, Surprised by the Spring Rain, recorded the glory of Chengdu in ancient time by calling it as Brocade City. The history of Shu brocade can be traced back to the ancestry of Sichuan, which is the cradle of Chinese silk. Since Warring State period, shoe brocade has become important merchandise for export. Tang Dynasty witnessed the most prosperous period of silk industry in China, and Chengdu, as a center of shoe brocade of that time, represented the top level of ancient silk craftsmanship in China. The first brocade weaving machine was invented around 220 AD. This that's still in use in Shoe Brocade Institute are Qing Dynasty machine replicas.
Nothing feels better than the silky brocade. No wonder it's so famous. I heard from here that the Brocade Road is also called the Southern Silk Road. Started from here, Shu Kingdom, Chengdu, through Burma, India, and Middle East. And 200 years earlier than the so-called Silk Road we know about. I even see some influence there.
Hand-knit shoe brocade is also known as gold of threads. One day's labor can only produce 10 centimeter long brocade like this.
This smooth cooperation takes years and years practice. And talk about the specialization. These two masters have never switched positions. They've been specialized what they do for decades.
One of the most famous historic sites in Chengdu I found impossible to skip. It's Wuhou Memorial Temple, the place dedicated in the memory of Zhuge Liang, the Prime Minister of Shu Kingdom in Three Kingdom period.
Three Kingdom period is long gone. It left very few picturesque record of that part of history. But Zhuge Liang, his image very clear in China. He's known as always wearing a Taoist outfit and wearing a white feather fan, and even a Renaissance man who good at playing chess, go game, and many music instruments.
In China, he's the icon that's synonymous to wisdom. Before becoming the Prime Minister of Shu Kingdom, Zhuge Liang lived a reckless life while keeping a close watch on the state fairs outside. His insightful commentaries on ongoing events and even predictions to the future made him famous throughout China, despite he was living in a small village at the time.
You probably hear the expression crouching tiger, hidden dragon. It's actually a very common phrase in Chinese referring to heroes living a reckless life, waiting and seeking the right moment and opportunity to arise. And Zhuge Liang actually referred by his friends as a hidden dragon. So, which very curious to this Liu Bei, the ruler of Shu Kingdom. The legend goes that he actually visited Zhuge Liang 3 times in his humble house and tried to convince him to entreat from withdrawal. And this story actually a very good reminder for those of you, to be courteous to the wise and talented is the least and best investment that one can do.
Liu Bei's gesture paid off. Once Zhuge Liang took the post as chief military officer for Shu Kingdom, he suggested the strategy of teaming Shu Kingdom with the equally weak Wu on the east, against the Wei in the north, boasted as the strongest force. Zhuge Liang's strategy, techniques, and even military inventions like a wheelbarrow helped to defeat the Wei and kept them in the north of the Yellow River for a long time. Even threatened by stronger and hostile neighbor like Wei, Wushu alliances sustained their sovereignty and formed the confrontation of 3 kingdoms for over 30 years.
How to truly win a battle. Nobody knows better than Zhuge Liang. The best powerful strategy is conquer the mind, win the heart. How I wish people today could understand this a little bit better.
Liu Bei certainly learned this from Zhuge Liang and put it into good practice back to his teacher. To repay Liu Bei's trust, Zhuge Liang devoted himself to Shu Kingdom and his master for more than 30 years. The famous maxim, work with devotion until death, from his memorial on sending out troops, is a very picture of his life. In 234, he died at his post when out battling for the kingdom. If you are lucky like me, find a guest house like this, you will probably not complain much about the weather in a rainy afternoon.
It's a rainy day again, no surprise. Actually, there's a saying in Chengdu, even the dog, when they see the sunshine, they will bark to such a strange thing, But there's nothing like rainy day, bad day, rainy day, sleeping day. More like, look around to write a poem or something.
Or read one.
Women like green jade, long be kept hidden in secret paths. And yet I always write as I please, on my scarlet poem sleeps. Grow old, one can't collect one's work and fix up all the wrong. So I send this verse to you, as if shown to teach a young boy. Talk about power of words and power of poems. Can you see her now? Pretty clearly, right?
Xue Tao lived in Chengdu in Tang Dynasty, is one of the most renowned Chinese poetries in history. Known as a wonder child in literacy, she was said to have written her first poem at the age of 7. It says it was from this well Xue Tao drew water and made the scarlet paper on which she copied her poems. The park is also the best place to view and admire more than 100 kinds of luxuriant bamboo plants clustered in groups. In ancient China, bamboo was a feature of various aspects of daily life. It was used for food, clothing, housing, and transportation. China's first book were crafted from bamboo strips strung on string, and almost all ancient musical instruments were made of bamboo.
Chinese literacy loves symbolism, and bamboo is considered to be one of virtuous plants because it's hollow inside. In Chinese means like humble and courteous, and also it's one of the most persistent plants. So Xue Tao probably loved this plant for the same reason and lived in courtesan in her lifetime. She's remembered as one of the greatest women poets in Chinese history.
The Riverview Pavilion is said to be where the dwelling of Xue Tao stand. Today, it stands as a monument where people come to look for some barely discernible traces of these talented poetries. Rising more than 39 meters high, it's a perfect belvedere today to view the city's mother river, Funan River. Most temples and palaces in China are routinely visited and crowded more with tourists and superstitious types than worshippers. So the mysticism in and about a temple or palace is always a stronger pull to most lay people than what the place actually represents. Other places you might find a totem pole. Here in Qingyangong, the oldest Taoist temple in Chengdu, you find a bronze sheep.
Entire Taoist temple complex is named after this statue. It's called the bronze sheep statue, but if you look at it closely, it's not a pure sheep. There are like 12 animals features in him. So it says if you probably know your Chinese sign already, and look after the sign and touch it, and maybe the horse mouth or the goatee, it brings your luck. I won't tell you my sign though.
I have to admit, I check out my horoscope from time to time, but I still can't really relate to people who always find fascination at the motive. Bronze sheep carries flagsters and guides your road. I doubt I will ever be that lucky. So I turn to a safer bet. Good ethnologist at least.
这个手势蛮奇怪 It looks like OK sign, don't you think so? 这个手势有什么意思？
这个手也就是打开，就是手与它这个宫殿的，就是一把钥匙一样。
一把钥匙一样。啊。
它也就是沟通，也就是沟通这些人与它之间的一种信息。
The most famous architecture in Qingyangong is a Bagua pavilion. The young master was happened to be a I Ching expert. Pointing at the divinatory symbols on the roof, he gave me a brief lesson on I Ching, the Book of Changes, the most mysterious book in China, a 4,000 years old divination guidebook. Proper annotation of it is generally considered to be a Taoist territory.
那《周易》到底是怎么样一本书呢？
《周易》就它本身来讲是一部战时书也就是一部预测未来的一本书。
那道教讲这个道法自然，为什么还要算呢？
因为就它的观念来讲的话，是更好的掌握自己未来的命运。更好的走好每一步，也就是人生的每一步那个运程。
那如果我想知道未来，那我现在生在现在，我怎么样知道未来？
这个也是可以通过这个《周易》。到每个宫观都有这方面的预测时可以通过八卦，通过八卦来预测吉凶祸福。
那现代和未来是怎么样一个关系？
现在和未来你只要，比如说，作为道教来讲，你只要换一个位置，站在人生的终点，和看待人生，你就可以知道人生好多的追求，那么都是，所以。
I still don't believe that future can be calculated. What is unperceivable about it makes life interesting, right? But I would rather imagine myself standing in the future, look at myself at this moment, enjoy a cup of tea in a nice tea house, right here, right now. Enjoy your day, and you'll be watching Travelogue. I'm Yanling. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Next week, Ancient capital means modern metropolis. Today's Chengdu is one of the fastest growing cities in China. While galloping into future, Chengdunese seems to learn the secret of manuring life rhythm, slowing down the bustle, and enjoy a cup of tea from time to time. See the new Chengdu, city known as the most livable city in China, next week.